Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Let's take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin. So, taking a look at our week, we had a very violent move down. Late last night it started, it looks like. So, that's not a bad sign. Obviously Monday, Tuesday, we want to see the bottom end for the week. So, I am still going to be extremely bullish on the week wherever this lands. I do like the fact that we went down first. I took a chance long last night. We did get a 4 hour golden cross, so I thought I would possibly take it. Got stopped out, no big deal. But this is a good sign for the Bulls. We are getting a nice dump for the week, and it could really come back, retrace, and start heading higher. I'm extremely happy with this, even though I got stopped out because from a timeline perspective or a timing perspective, you do want to see a violent move down at the beginning of the week. So this is great so far. Taking a look at the daily, you can see how we're just kind of eating through a lot of this liquidity, right? So my next area that I'm targeting basically without really looking at my liquidity chart or through trading different is kind of down here within this range. So you've got this range between 60,622 and 61,124. Um, Obviously, I'm thinking we're probably going to test 61,124 first before we're diving into the 60,900 area, but there's a good chance that we get that nice pull down right here in this area. Right now, we are kind of bouncing off of this 9MA on the daily. I don't think that this is going to hold. I want to see it get into this area. It has quite a bit of liquidity, I believe, in this area. So drilling down into some of these smaller time frames, you can kind of see we're kind of building out like a bigger cup and handle type of formation here, which is a really good sign. Um, Let me go into the 4 hour. So I'm actually going to get rid of this box. I was just using this to see if we would get some sort of support off of this, but we were not. So you can see, guys, I mean, like, I basically tried a long from right here, around 62,000, 63,000 around that area, and I got stopped out overnight, which is fine. But we did get that golden cross, so we just didn't get the follow through that I was expecting, unfortunately. But like I said, I'm still bullish because of the fact that we are dropping first. So we are dropping down at the beginning of the week. Hopefully, we're going to be making our bottom, either today or tomorrow. So I'll be watching that. But so far, this is a decent sign for the Bulls. So let's see, taking a look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, and I did pull my fib from here. So 60,913, it looks like where we're at. I'm not sure why it's bouncing right now. Let me see. Yeah, it's not really hitting anything directly, so I think it's probably just hunting the short liquidity here for right now. Um, but I would be targeting in this range here, like I said, for a test, and then hopefully we can break on out. Even if we were to touch the 1 hour 200, we could be bouncing right now, but testing that 1 hour 200 MA would be, a potential bounce place from there. Let's see, checking out the 15 minute. So the 15 minute looks like it's getting a bounce right now. Again, not really bouncing off of anything in particular, it looks like. Yeah, we kind of front ran that. That's interesting. Okay, so there's a potential that we're probably going to go lower. It's just trying to stop out some shorts. But again, I'm going to be targeting around this order block right here, around the 60,900 area, for a potential entry. I'm going to see how price reacts to it, and timing wise, I'm going to go more based off of timing since I got stopped out. It was on a Sunday, so it was very high risk for me to take that trade, but I'm going to focus on timing a lot this week. And obviously, if we were to get down here, I'm hoping that it would probably be, later on this morning a little bit, and we could probably start to see a bounce up from there. But that's what I'm going to be looking for is the 60,900 area. So let's go ahead and take a look at liquidity. So for right now, guys, this morning, I would have, these levels on your chart, 61,124, 60,973, and then 6622 as a worst case. And then you have 62,109 as well. So let me take a look at our order book here. So order book, and then as well as our liquidity chart. So let me take a look. So let's take a look at our 4 hour. So our 4 hour is starting to dive into this little pool of liquidity right here. So at 60,006 it goes down to. So yeah, I mean that kind of lines up with what I was saying, right? So 60,009 is where it starts. We could potentially bounce from the top of it, but it looks like we're going to get into 60,006, 60,007, which is fine. So that's a good sign. But look at all of this that's building up above us. So this is a really good sign right here that we could get a decent bounce for this week. So I really like that there's all of this liquidity above us. It's going to be a really fun week, I would say. So definitely, be very careful with your shorts. If you got the top right here, congrats. That was a really good short. Definitely high risk because we were getting that 4 hour golden cross, but the market's going to do what it's going to do, right? So it's difficult to predict for right now, but um, as far as on the bigger time frames, let's take a look at the daily. Let's see here, checking off some of this liquidity. So, okay. Yeah, not really seeing anything close by. I mean, we have this down here. We could be taking out this double bottom. I would expect for us to bottom now that we were dumping for Monday. We could either, like I said, bottom for today or tomorrow. I don't think we're going to reach down to here, but you never know. I'm going to expect to bounce within the 60,000 range myself, so I'll be looking for a long setup there. Let's go into the 1 hour since we already looked at the 4. So the 1 hour looks like it's getting a decent bounce. Again, we started tapping into this pool of liquidity, but not really getting anywhere substantially yet. We didn't get into the low 61 area like I was expecting, or even the 60,900. So we'll see if this bounces from here. That'll be interesting because that's not really a level that's something I was targeting. It's kind of in the middle of nothing right there. So that'll be interesting to see. But anyways, guys, as far as this goes, I would be, once we do take out this pool liquidity here, if we do still go down to the downside, you're going to be targeting like for this week, I would say up to here to 67,687. Could be a potential target, wiping out this double top right here. I do, like I said, expect for this to be a very bullish week. So just hang on your hands here and just wait this out and see where we can get to. So it looks like this might be jumping up to 62.5 maybe to just kind of wreck some of the shorts. So that's, yeah, it might be heading here before it continues down further. We'll see. But as of right now, we're getting some sort of a slight bounce. So decent sign for the bulls for right now. All right, let's see here. Dropping into the 5 minute. So your trend of indicator is still a -2. Yeah, probably targeting this area, I would say up here, and then we could maybe further drop down. Yeah, so have this on your chart 62.5. We could be taking that out, maybe dropping down a little bit further. But it looks like it's heading up to there for right now. And then let's see on our order book. Yeah, it's trying to reach to 62.1, and then it's looks like it's not showing a lot of strength. We still have a lot of these orders down here, so I would expect that we still get a little bit of a drop down into this area, at least taking out 60,900. That's where I'm going to be targeting for today. So I will be probably putting in a long, depending on timing, I'll be putting in a long somewhere down here. But again, like I said, guys, it's going to depend really on, time-wise, if it aligns with, I'm looking for Monday afternoon, late Monday morning, for the bottom to be in for the day, even possibly the week. So it could even be in right now. I don't know if I trust that though, because it's not really, like I said, a place where I would be pulling a fib from. So anyways, guys, that's what I'm seeing on the order book and as well as liquidity. Let's take a look at our simple map here. So our simple map is showing that there's still some 100x to the downside. We have 100x, 50x to the upside. So we have quite a bit of 100x and 50x to the upside to get us further back up. Let's see here. Yeah. So it looks like we have a decent amount here. And there's a spike right here, 62,880, which is around that 62.5, a little bit above it. But we do have some random spikes of liquidity in here. So 63,510, 62,880, And it looks like we could potentially, get into some of this before we bounce up. So I would expect maybe even up to the 60,960 area, and then we get a bounce up. So on the smaller time frames, your 5, your 15, your 1 hour, I would expect kind of a drop down into here, and then we can crawl back up. Let's take a look at the swing trades. So the 4 hour and the daily. I would be targeting this next node right here, even possibly this one at 60,600, but 60,900 is probably going to be an area that I would look for it to retest, and then we can come back and start eating up some of this other liquidity up here. All right. So anyways, guys, that's what I'm seeing for today on Trading Different and our order book. Like I said, just be careful because there are still quite a few orders down here. So we could be hitting into that 60,006 area. We'll just have to wait and see. So I would definitely, I'm going to be looking for a position, like I said, later on today. Monday night into Tuesday is a decent time to trade, usually if it's a bullish week. So I will be looking around that time frame to see if I could spot a setup. But I will give you guys an update later to see if we can find anything. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for right now for this morning. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all later. Take care.